Dua, duawu to the Ramech. Greetings to all of you. Dua, duawu, Nazareth. And I am here today with Karmic Dynasty's first movie review. We have MENTAAT here with us today to give us a movie review on the movie Dune. So this movie is from, I think, 1984, 1986, and we will be covering that today, as well as some other topics. You know, here on Karmic Dynasty, we don't stick to the topic, so we will be addressing all sorts of things. And right now, also, of course, I want to say, those of you who have children, viewer discretion is advised, as always, here on Karmic Dynasty. So at this time, I'm going to bring on MENTAAT and have him speak with us and introduce himself, share with everyone something that you want us to know about yourself. Tell us how we can reach you if we want to contact you, and however else you'd like to introduce yourself. Gratitude. Dua.
I appreciate that. I say to you all, Ashuk Wu Nuwa, means divine love and divine light. Rao back, Wu Nuwa. Rao back, Wu Hotep. Greetings, peace, divine love and divine light. Okay. Thank you, first of all, to Karmic Dynasty. Okay. I feel that goddess vibe energy booming. Okay. And it's got me excited. Okay. It's important that we as so-called black people, we gotta start paying attention to these movies. Okay, they're these science fiction movies. Okay, no more Next Friday, no more Love and Basketball. We're in the age of enlightenment. Okay, we're returning back to our divine selves, and they've been dropping all of our sciences in their movies. Okay, because they need to fulfill a law, a galactic law, that states that they have to tell the truth. They've been telling the truth, right? But instead of putting it in a history book, they put it in a movie. So that fulfills that that law that they need to adhere to in order to tell the truth. So they've been telling our truths in science fiction movies. So I'm excited to do this Dune review. Dune. Let me tell you something about Dune, or about me. And this ties into me. I've always loved science fiction movies. That's my biggest secret. You know what I'm saying? No, not that I'm homosexual. Usually people's secret is, oh, I'm homosexual. No, my biggest secret was when I was growing up. I grew up, I was into a lot of street activity. Okay, so after we got done doing our activity on the street, we would come back to the headquarters, right? When everybody would be asleep, I would turn on like Star Trek, Star Wars. Okay, so I've always been into sci-fi. Then I finally got into. I was at home one night, and this movie Dune came on. Long story short, this movie Dune has been so resonating to me personally. Number one, because I have a Christ archetype. Okay, if you haven't seen the movie, check it out. If you have a Christ archetype, meaning a savior type mentality, meaning you're interested in the saviorship or the resurrection of your people, then that movie's gonna resonate with you. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I got into that. So on that note, I don't want to make the end. I could ramble. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start the ramble after I got done with the introduction. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yes, we discussed that before. So yes, we will continue now. So first, before we continue, now that we have more people in the room, I want to say, speak peaceful, respective greetings to everyone. Islam, Rahubet, Assalamu alaikum, Ola, Hotep, and
Shalom.
again, shalom, peaceful, respective greetings to all of you. So now this how I always share how we came to this moment, to a broadcast. So
okay.
On social media, I actually, I've followed you for a while. I've been observing. I'm not going to go into how I first came across your page. That's something for another day.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to share. I'll share. So I was somewhere, and I was somewhere where someone watches the same social media outlets that I watch.
Okay.
And I was in another part of the house, And then I heard Pata, Pata, secret sword, Pata, secret, Pata, Pata, Pata. I'm like, who is that? Giving all that energy towards Pata, secret sword. So I ran there, and it was you. And you was in Little Five Points. You was at Little Five Points, and you were there with Crumb TV, and you were sharing a moment, some feedback in regards to what was going on during that time. So since then, we've made connection, and I have reached out to you for different things in regards to knowledge and sharing some insight on some things. So moving forward, I have also observed that you watch a lot of movies,
Oh
sci-fi.
God.
It's your thing, like you mentioned,
Oh
and
God. Yes.
the feedback you give on not only the movies but all types of other subjects. So again, we will not only be talking about this movie today. I would like for MENTAAT to be comfortable and speak freely and speak and share whatever's on your mind. I know I have one thing in particular that we discussed that you will be speaking on, so I can't wait for us to get to that as well. So for now, at first, we're going to talk about this movie Dune. So I know. So we're preparing, and of course, I watch the movie. People know me.
Okay.
I don't watch TV. I don't do movies. But if it's something, and for me to reach out and want to hear about this one is big to me. So in the first 2 minutes of the movie, I had to pause. Within the first 2 minutes, and it took me a whole day to get back to the movie
It's
because
deep.
you mentioned the spice melange, and I went and Googled the Wikipedia of the movie and some background on their perspective, what they want to put out to the world of spice melange. So it took me down a road, and it took me a whole day to get back to the movie. Talk to us about spice melange and melanin and all
Oh
that
God.
stuff. Oh, and right quick, y'all know me around here. I got my popcorn today. This is my first movie review on Karmic Dynasty. I have my popcorn, so I'm gonna be munching and stuff. I'm going on mute as MENTAAT speaks. Peace, y'all. Peace.
Okay. Woo. Dune. So like I was saying in the introduction, okay, I have a Christ archetype. So that movies like that are gonna resonate. Then I love science fiction movies. That movie, just like she said, even when I seen it as a child or as a kid, it was very heavy, very deep. You know what I'm saying? It just captivated me. So let's fast forward past me being a child. Let's fast forward to me being now at my current state of consciousness when I revisit this movie called Dune. Mm-mm-mm. Number one, I like to deal with keywords. The first keyword was spice melange, right? And I've been going in on this for the past couple of days. I'm just getting that. I'm just getting a activation or a signal that, oh my God, you got to revisit this movie because now today is the most prevalent time to be dealing with it. And then also because you have another one coming out, you have a new one coming out, a remake coming out in October, but we'll get to that later. Spice Melange. What does this do? Long story short, if you have not seen this movie Dune, okay, I'm gonna do my best to break it down right quick on what it's about. Simply put, there's a galactic European empire. Okay, the system is a feudal house system, meaning it's an empire that is divided into houses. Okay, each house runs a specific business. So it's just like right now you have Walmart, Target. You know what I'm saying? The Walmart, the I can't remember their names, but the Walmart family runs Walmart, right? Long story short, so in the movie, this galactic European empire, it's ran the same way. In this universe, in the Dune universe, okay, the most important substance, period, the highest, most valuable substance is not crystals, it's not gold. It's a substance called spice melange, right? So immediately you hear the word melange, okay? I'm all about etymology, you know what I'm saying? So melange, when you break that word down, mela, that's that Greek word for black, okay? So that's the first way they get you with these words. You gotta look at these words. So spice means the spice melange, you're saying spice black or a black substance. You see what I'm saying? Okay, what is this substance? What does it do? In the Dune universe, spice melange, number one, it increases your consciousness to a cosmic level. Okay, so in the Dune universe, okay, listen to this. In the Dune universe, they have outlawed computers. Okay, without getting too deep, they don't want any artificial intelligences rivaling natural divine mind power. So they started a war. They exterminated all the machines. So a lot of people will be like, okay, if they got rid of the machines, how are they gonna be computing and doing all the data processing and all that, right? The substance spice melange a lot once it expands your consciousness to a cosmic level. Once you have a cosmic type of consciousness, you don't need no computer for nothing. You can do all that. You can do all the data processing and computing in your mind. So in the movie, they had an intergalactic, interstellar, commercial transport, kind of like how we got Delta and how we got all these other airlines. But this in the movie, it's called the Spacing Guild. The Spacing Guild is basically an intergalactic airline. Put it like that. Okay, the pilots who fly the starships that are transporting cargo and people across the universe, the known universe in the movie, the pilots do not use any type of computers to make those computations on how to travel to another planet. They use spice melange. Matter of fact, they use a matter of fact, the Spacing Guild pilots use such a high abundance of spice melange that it has mutated them to like a monstrous form. Okay, because they're overusing it. So they're like on a hyper cosmic level, um, worth of spice melange. I'm glad you pulled up these pictures too.
Yeah,
I was just gonna tell you to do that. I'm glad you're doing that. So we're
because
on
I
sync,
remember it was blue.
huh?
Hmm. Go ahead. I didn't hear you.
No, I'm saying we're synced. We are definitely synced because
Oh,
I was
yes,
just about to
yes,
tell you.
yes.
I was about to tell you to do that. Okay, so real quick, I want to get to who this guy is right here. So keep that guy up. Real quick, Spice Melange, okay? It grants hypercosmic Christ consciousness. Go Google Christ consciousness to understand what that is. That's what Spice Melange does. So these white folks are they are ingesting this. So where are they getting it from, right? Are they getting it from black people? Apparently not. When you watch a movie, you don't see not one nigga. You know what
Not
I'm saying? But
one.
anyway, but before we get into that, and we know why that is. But before we get to that, spice melange is found on one planet in the known universe. So in the galactic empire that the Europeans are running, this galactic empire is made up of several thousand planets. Okay, but with spice melange is only found on one single planet in the entire universe. It's a planet called Arrakis. Sound like Iraq to me. Mm-hmm. And Iraq is very sandy. It's a desert-like area. You know what? Matter of fact, Iraq is actually North Africa. Let's keep it real. That's Africa. Okay.
Yep.
Iraq is
Yep.
Africa.
It
Let's
is.
keep. Ain't no such thing as the Middle East. All right. I think I'm gonna do a video on this, but ain't no such thing as no Middle East. That's part of Africa. That's Africa. Long story
Right.
short. So planet Arrakis, aka Dune, is a desert planet, and this is where the spice melange is found. Okay. So there's a big power struggle over this substance because listen, you cannot make it anywhere else. You cannot artificially manufacture it. Okay, so that ties into what's going on in this world with so-called black people, so-called Nubian people. That melanin we call kamim nakut, that black dot. You know what I'm saying? And once you activate it, it gives you it's the Stargate. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you that heightened consciousness. You know, allowing you to unlock different hidden dormant abilities within your avatar body. Okay, so in Dune, oh God, and they're dropping it. Okay, then they get into genetic memory. Now this is interesting. I want y'all, whenever y'all check out Dune, Google genetic memory. Okay, because they getting into that, and that's deep. That deals with us too. Genetic memory is the ability to tap into all the hidden powers and knowledge that's stored within the bloodline ancestral DNA of the body avatar that you have incarnated in right now. Meaning your body is akashic, a humanoid akashic record, right? But you have to be able to tap into that using genetic, by tapping into genetic memory. So in the movie, I'm thinking in my head, why is genetic memory so important to them when their ancestors were in the caves? Why would you need to tap into that? It seems to me that at your current state as a galactic European empire, you might want to just deal with the memory you got going now because you're booming right now. Why would you want to tap into the ancient memory of your ancestors when your ancestors, were coming out the caves? Okay, that's how I look at it. Okay, because it says it's the year 10,000, blah, 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 blah. That means they're on that Adamite calendar. You know what I'm saying? So that means they're dealing with, the cave, the year one. Go watch that movie starring Jack Black when they was in the caves, right? So you're on the year one calendar. Okay, so why would you want to tap into genetic memory? Again, that's because they're dealing with our principles and our concept with the genetic memory. If we can tap into that, no, not if, when we finally are able to tap into that, once we get our vibration and all our chakras aligned, you know what I'm saying, then we'll be able to tap into that genetic memory. Okay, and then that ties into that white boy that she put up. That's his name is Paul Atreides. Okay, who ends up being the Christ. Okay, whatever. But it's a movie, so I whatever. I don't want to get into that. Paul Atreides, what makes him so special and how that ties in. Okay, first you have Spice Malines, which is melanin. Then you have genetic memory. Then you got this white man. You got this white boy, Paul Atreides. In Dune, okay. I'm gonna do my best way to explain this. So in Dune, they kind of reversed it. They're saying that it's the masculine ancestral memory that's the most powerful, and that's what needs to be tapped in. The white man plays a supreme being known as a Kwisatz Haderach. A Kwisatz Haderach is a masculine supreme being that's able to tap into both masculine and feminine energy, power, that's a being, that's a Ma'ashin. Come on. That's Ma'at right there. Ma'at. That's Ma'at. Point blank, period. That is Ma'at. Being able to vibrate on both masculine and feminine energy. That's what I am. I'm Ma'at personified. So in the movie, they call it Kwisatz Haderach, which is a Hebrew meaning the shortener of the way, okay, which is basically a man who's tapping into both masculine and feminine energy, making him a masculine supreme being in the body, okay? So they are dropping it, and they got him as it's called the Mahdi, or Messiah, and Mahdi, that's the Arabic word for Messiah, because what's going on is on the planet Iraqis, aka Iraq, aka Africa, you know what I'm saying? There's indigenous, right? The indigenous, okay, they're native to the planet, right? Long story short, this galactic European empire is very oppressive and very intrusive, okay, because they're basically stealing. They're stealing the spice melange and not making equal deals with the natives. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing business with them, saying, listen, we'll buy it from you. They're just down there, just mining it, and not caring about what the natives. You know what I'm saying? Going to war against them. Does that sound familiar? It does. Okay, but long story short, Paul Atreides, he ends up, he's a, oh God, this is deep. He is a royal son of a royal galactic house, and that ties it. Let's deal with that right quick, and that also ties to us, because a lot of us are reincarnated royal princes and queens and princesses of a Kemetic ancient Egyptian Kemetic Tamaran galactic empire. That's how deep that is. That's a whole nother subject. But a lot of us, many of us are, we're down here in school, we're down here on Earth, and enduring a type of spiritual school. We're enduring some type of spiritual training to prepare a lot of us to assume posts as princes and governorships or star lords for other worlds. Okay, real quick, we are not real quick because now I gotta explain that we're not, we don't just have a African empire. We don't just have land or empire that's restricted to one continent or even to one planet. Remember our ancestors. Who are the ancestors? A lot of y'all are in the ancestral worship. Okay, you got to understand who these beings are. Where are these beings? They're not on Earth, so where are they? And who are they? Okay, they are. We call them the net. There's many names. Okay, in the Bible, they're known as the gods. In Quran, the Alihat. In Hebrew, the Elohim. Sumerian, the Anunnaki. Native American, they're called like Thunderbirds. And then once you come all the way back to the Kemetic doctrine, they're known as the Nitarat or the Netaru, okay, or the Nazdaru. We know them as the Netaru. Okay, that's the when you're doing your deep studying, that's the most ancient name for these beings, the Netru. So we are, long story short, we are the children of the Netru. And the Netru, they are our ascended ancestors, okay? Because they didn't exist before us. They are existing above us. So they're up in the galactics and they rule. Listen, they number one, they created the universe in a etheric form, and they currently rule the universe. Meaning, so they have many star lords that are system lords that are controlling various galaxies, controlling various star systems, running a galactic economic system. Law of correspondence, as it is above, so it is below. Okay. So with that being said, that ties into the movie because Paul Atreides is a prince, a royal prince of a galactic house. And a lot of us are royal princes, queens of royal houses. Go watch the movie Jupiter Ascending. I don't want to get off into that right now. Go watch that, but that gets to that. But Dune gets to that too. So Paul and his family control the entire planet, and they've been given the contract, the very lucrative contract of mining the planet Arrakis for spice melange. So long story short, the house, Paul Atreides, he ends up being what you call the Kwisatz Haderach. He ends up being the masculine supreme being, able to tap into both masculine, feminine energy. And instead of going along the lines of ruling Arrakis in the name of the empire, he decides to be a Mahdi or a savior for the natives of the planet. So that really resonated with me. You know what I'm saying? I do have that type of archetype, to be honest. You know, I've always dreamed of being like a superhero for us. You know what I'm saying? Not to say the planet. I mean, not to say the world, but to destroy the world. You know what I'm saying? For us to liberate us. Now I know I've been rambling for a little bit. You got any? You want to say? You want to add anything? You want to keep? You want to say something? You over there tearing that up?
Yeah, you're not rambling. It's very knowledgeable. You sharing the gems. Now, when you were speaking first, we were talking about the main character and his blue eyes. Now, for me, in the very beginning of the movie, in the introduction,
Okay.
who is she? The emperor's daughter. This
Yeah,
lady
hold
right
on.
here,
Yeah, that's the emperor. Yep, exactly.
the emperor's daughter. Okay,
Yep.
so she opens the movie and does this introduction, like in Star Wars, where all the words go up the screen. She
Mm-hmm.
does the narrative, but you see her face. And she spoke of the blue eyes. I think she spoke of the blue eyes, but it came in the movie real quick. And in my mind, like you said, for one, there were no niggas in this movie. We already know they bringing it and they want to take away from us. So
Hey,
what's going on is soon as okay, in my mind, they in some part absorb, consume the spice melange, the ones
right.
that's in, and it was mentioned like how did they survive, and it was based on their absorption of the spice melange. And then a trait of the absorption is the blue eyes. So also, without going into further into the story, but near the end and talking about the main character and his Christ consciousness and all this stuff he come into, he gets the blue eyes too.
Right.
So to me, it's this stages of leveling up, and the blue eyes is like the first trait characteristic that come into leveling up. Now, from where I'm from, what I know is blue eyes is a sign of deficiency.
Exactly right. Exactly.
So in my mind, they want to highlight blue eyes like it's a big daggone thing. They
Exactly.
want to, even this was back in 86, 84 when this movie was made. First, they start out with this chick, the blonde hair, brownish image, however they want to downplay it. And then they come with these blue eyes. The blue eyes is the focus for a good deal of the movie.
Right.
Okay, so for you, this is a favorite movie. For me,
Yeah.
this
Oh
is
God.
too. Um, can you talk about how I'm looking at this melanin deficiency, but how they broadcast it like it's a big deal to have blue eyes?
All right. So you're on point as usual. You're on point, man. Because I was gonna get into that, and that's exactly what I was looking at. Because okay, okay, in our doctrine, okay, and I'm gonna say it as nice as possible, okay. But in our listen, when you get into the ancient Kemetic, ancient Egyptian orders, blue eyes is the trait of the devil. And I'm just being honest. I'm just sharing information. That is a recessive trait. Okay. You're supposed to have dark brown eyes because your eyes are solar panels, right? And you're supposed to be absorbing as much light into the body via your eyes as possible. So the darker your iris, the darker your iris, the more light you're absorbing. Okay. Now, during the time the movie came out, there was a lot of there's a lot of lecture and speech about how calling them the blue eyed devils. So what they were trying to do is they wanted to reverse that demonization of blue eyes and make it god like
Oh,
and make it godlike. You know what I'm saying? Make it godlike. Okay. So that's what was going on with that, because that blue eye stuff has been demonized. Like Elijah Muhammad, blue eyed devils. And then once you get into the scientific, see, I like dealing with scientific stuff and religious stuff because then it
mhm.
makes more sense. I can make it make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's a recessive. That's a ghost. That's a ghost like trait. Okay, it's not your if you if when you're ingesting. Okay, if you are going to be ingesting a substance like spice melange, if it's going to be increasing your lights, what's going to happen is your eyes are going to be shining, kind of like a goldish color. It's going to be goldish because your soul's going to be activating. You see what I'm saying? Like if you have a cat or a dog, you see how they got that green glow within. That's their spirit. When you're looking, I want y'all to try. I have two felines, so I do it all the time. You shine a light into their eye, and you see a green glow. You see their spirit or their soul glowing, or spirit. Sorry, you see their spirit glowing. Same thing when you're ingesting a substance that's going to activate you on a hypercosmic celestial level. Your eyes going to be going gold and in a orangish color. But again, this is their movie. This is their movie. Okay. Do you expect them? You're not gonna come on. I do understand. You know what I like doing? I'm a Gemini. There you go. I love that. That's shiny. That's shiny. I'm a Gemini, so I like to see both sides of it. If I was them, I would do the same. I would have did the same thing. I'm not gonna. I'll be glorifying shit. I'll be glorifying. They glorify the fur. That fur they have on their head. They
Whoa.
glorify that. You know what I'm saying? That's why. And that's another. That get off to a whole nother subject. But
Yes.
they're into glorification of how they look because that builds confidence. You know what I'm saying? And when you're not, I don't mean to be mean, but when you're not an attractive race, you have to kind of build confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on point, sister.
All right. Because I was wondering, I meant to ask you that beforehand when we were preparing, but it escaped me. Also, I know while we're speaking about them, the spice melange extends life.
Oh God,
Now
yes.
we already know they have issues with their life expectancy,
Oh
and
God, yes.
before that, some of them can't even get to the life expectancy because they can't bring life forth. They can't even have babies. Um, you want to discuss that as well?
Oh God, we were just talking about that yesterday. I was just talking about this yesterday. Again, that goes back to the whole melanin. Okay, we understand. Hold on, we understand that this right here, all these unks I got on, it's a sacred symbol to me. It is. You know what I'm saying? I got the unk tatted on me a long time ago before I even knew what it was. So that's how I knew I had some type of sacred connection. Because this is a long time ago when I was a rock star nigga. I didn't know nothing about too much about ancient Egypt, except the fact that it was just really cool. You know what I'm saying? The unk has two meanings for us and for them. Okay, it's kind of deep. Okay, so I do my best to try to explain it. Okay, they seek internal life in the body. Okay, because they understand, the ones that are elite understand that they cannot achieve true immortal life, which is hyperphysical, metaphysical. It's ethereal. You know what I'm saying? Once you get into like the eighth and the ninth dimensions or the seventh dimension, where it's pure ethereal, only etheric beings, aka a soul, can exist in that level. So the ethereal supreme being or the soul, that's the true unk or true everlasting eternal being. That's what we are incarnated in a body or a star in a body. That's why our skin is dark, because we burn it. It's burning the skin. It's a star. The melanated human avatar is holding a star within, so it's always gonna be, it's burning. We burning. Okay, they understand that that's not what they are.
Right quick.
Huh?
Speaking of burning, right quick. Can we address him?
Oh God,
The burning, they can't absorb the sun.
Look at, I'm so glad you put that image up. Matter of fact, oh God, I love you. I'm sorry to love you. I'm so glad you
It's
put
all
that up.
right.
I'm gonna screenshot that and I'm gonna make something about that, because that's what the sun is doing to them. And I'm not. And this. Listen, if we have any European members in the audience, this is not us being mean. We're not trying to attack you. This is scientific fact, and you know that. Your elite know this. So everything I'm saying, they're probably watching right now because they're tracking us. But without getting to so they're probably watching right now, and everything I'm saying, they already know this. So I'm not being mean. I'm not being an asshole. I'm just being honest. The sun is baking their ass, and it's very sad because this little baby sun, it's a baby sun, the one that Earth is
Yeah.
orbiting. I want y'all to go on go on YouTube and type in sun comparison to get it to, and you get an idea that our sun is so tiny compared to other hyper sun, galactic suns. But the Europeans on this planet, they cannot deal with that sun, and it's baking them, it's giving them melanoma. You see what I'm saying? That's why they're gonna have to go under. They're gonna have to go underground. Okay, they can't leave the planet. See, a lot of people are saying they're trying to leave the planet. That's not true. You
Right.
cannot leave. You cannot leave the planet. You're gonna go to another planet that has a bigger sun, and you can't deal with the sun down here. So where you gonna go? So that's what they're facing. Without getting but again, that's a whole nother subject when we do with the end times and what's really going on with them. But I want to continue that point. That's why the melange is very important too, because you did remind me. It extends their life. I was watching the movie. Jupiter Ascending, and y'all gotta check that out because it gets to the same thing. How a galactic empire royal house is mining people. They're mining people from with the substance, and it gives them, they can live in a body for 10,000 years. Now that ties into immortal living. To them, eternity means being in the body as long as possible. To us, eternity means leaving the body and returning to a higher ethereal state as a
Right.
supreme being. Okay, so they are desperate because a lot of them, they don't. It's deep. They don't. They have an understanding that they don't know what's going to happen next because they don't have higher beings that are overseeing them. Our ancestors are the universal rulers, so they know that our ancestors, they're not going to bring them up or ascend them beyond this plane of existence. So their best bet is to stay in the body for as long as possible. Okay, go watch the movie. Go watch that show, Altered Carbon, on Netflix. That's a great show. I'm gonna tell you about that. That's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
show. It's about how these. It's about, long story short, the elites, they're able to live forever. How? Because they have downloaded their spirit consciousness into a disc, inserted into the back of their head. So if the body expires, they can take the disc out and put it and put their spirit consciousness into another body, and so the elite or the rich, They have like warehouses full of very beautiful bodies because they can afford it. Because each body is like it's very expensive. Okay, it's like buying a Lamborghini when you buy try to buy a new body. So only the elite and the wealthy can afford it. So same thing in Dune. That's what the Melon is doing. It's allowing extended life for them. Not only is it giving them hyper consciousness, it's extending their life long way past the that little punk ass 100 years you get down here. It's
Right.
giving them a couple thousand years in a physical form without having to dwell in a ghost form. Because now we're gonna get spooky. A lot of them end up having to dwell in a ghost form because their form is deteriorating on this world. So that long story short, their reincarnation privileges has been revoked because long story short, their cycle ended 21 years ago. And now we're in the sun cycle. So this cycle is the ascension cycle. So it is not the reincarnation cycle. So we will not be reincarnating. We will be ascending. So a lot of them they can't ascend. So what happens is they get
Hmm.
trapped. They get trapped on Earth in a spirit form. That's why Earth is so haunted. Okay, when the last time you see a black ghost when you're watching a horror movie? I can't really think of that. That was hard to think of that. They because they're dropping it on you. They're showing you that they know that they're gonna be trapped down here in spirit form. Okay, so their best bet is to try to stay in the body as long as possible. So Melange does that.
Okay.
That makes sense. Did I make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay.
All sense possible. Now speaking of travel, and another thing Spice Melange does is it makes safe interstellar travel possible.
Right.
And then another thing I know, which I saw that they put in the movie, was when Paul, the main character, near the end, was going through his transformation. Because they talked about how you could travel without moving. You were
Right.
folding time or something like that. Could you talk about that as well?
Right. Okay. Back. So like I mentioned earlier. Okay. In the Dune verse, they don't use computers. Okay. They don't use computers. Okay. Because in order to travel to a destination, oh, shit. In order to travel to another planet, remember the universe is rotating. So if you want to go to Mars, you cannot calculate going to Mars in a straight line. You got to calculate it to where it's gonna be at by the time you get over there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's moving. So let alone trying to go to another part of the universe, you're gonna need a major. You're gonna
Right.
need some. You're gonna need some major computing power. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So spice melange. That's why this substance is the most valuable substance in the universe. Spice melange, like I told you earlier, it gives you hyper consciousness. When you have hyper consciousness, you can make those computations easily in your head, just like walking down the street to the corner store. You can go to the other side of the universe at will using your computation. Now, you were saying that you can move, you can travel through space, you can travel to the universe without moving, because what happens is you can fold the space around you. Once you have the mind power that spice melange allows, again, it goes back to hyper cosmic consciousness granted by spice melange, right? You can once you have that type of divine nine mind power or God mind power or the divine power of the God mind, right? You can fold space and go anywhere in the universe you want. Okay, I'm not the best scientist in the world, so I don't know the exact physics on folding space. But you can, from my understanding, you're folding the etheric fabric around you into a bubble, and then it unfolds to wherever you want in the universe. So you physically did not move. Only the space around you moved. You know what I'm saying? You move the space with your mind. That's what's going on with that. But that company called the Spacing Guild, and their pilots they got to use that stuff to make, because when you're trying to transport a bunch of people like as a passenger ship to another side of the universe, you know what I'm saying? The pilots they ingest spice melines to make that computation. So spice melines gives their mind the power to make that incredible galactic computation processing power happen in your mind. That's why spice is very, 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 very. They going crazy over this like it's crack. Oh God, and you see why? I want you to understand the power of it, because there goes the Bene Gesserit or the Reverend Mother. It's
Right.
allowing them genetic memory. The Spice Milans, they take that. Listen, on the spiritual side, it allows genetic memory, meaning you have access to the power and knowledge of the entire ancestral bloodline. So imagine if you had access to knowledge to the entire ancestral bloodline of the bloodline that you have incarnated. Remember, the bloodline, it goes beyond Africa. It's intergalactic. It's extra solar. It's a galactic bloodline. So honestly, we have no idea how many millions and billions of years old it is. It gets very deep. I'm still doing my research on that. The bloodline is millions and billions of years old. So you have no idea, motherfucking deal what type of. Oh God, I'm getting overwhelmed just trying to think about that. The level of knowledge and memories that you can tap into. That's scary in a good way. You know what I'm saying? So that ability is allowed for them, for the reverend mothers, and allows the physical abilities. The reverend, what they didn't really explain to you in the movie, so there's a sacred priesthood
Mm-hmm.
of hyper hypernatural, supernatural women. Okay, not only are they tapping into genetic powers, it has enhanced their physical powers. So if you get in a fight with one of them, they will fuck you up because they can move quicker, like in the Matrix. The Spice Milan levels to move quicker. They can move quick. They could be right behind you, right before you know it. So they're warriors too. It didn't tell you in the movie, but the Reverend Mother, they're actually skilled combatants too, using the Spice Milans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't catch that. Now what I will say, there's a part in the movie when Paul and his mother go to Arrakis,
Okay.
and the people there embrace them, and in exchange they teach them the war, the fighting tactics.
The
So they
weird,
did apply it. Yeah.
right there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. So you're on point. You're absolutely right. They do show you because his mother was part of that sacred order. And you see how
Right.
fast she was. You see how fast she was. So you're
Right.
absolutely right. I'm glad you said that. They
Mm-hmm.
show you. They do show you that those females are very skilled combatants. Our women, listen. If you want to translate that to our world, our women, they're not Barbies. They've been Barbified. Okay, they've been Barbified, but women are not Barbies. Our women, they're warrior goddesses, like on Wonder Woman. Okay, so they
Mm-hmm.
they show you that they show you that aspect, that warrior goddess aspect in that movie.
And also in this movie of Dune, right quick. So the little girl
Uh oh.
right here, that's Paul's sister.
Uh oh.
And she was in the womb, and her mother was coming into, what is that status she was gaining? The new Reverend Mother or something, what they call it.
Yes, exactly. You got it.
Okay. So then, while in the womb, she took on. They showed her grandmother. Was it no? Because the mother was a servant of the original in the movie, whatever they call them,
You
the
on point?
witch,
No, you on point.
the
You on
witch.
point.
So
Right.
the original, the main witch in the movie, Paul's mother was a servant to her. So
Right.
the servant was the mother of Paul of
Right.
that royal line. And so when she was taking on the queen mother status, and she was
Right.
going through the ritual, she was taking in, I think they thought she was going to take in the power, but actually a lot of them probably didn't know she was pregnant.
Exactly.
And the
You on
and the
point.
little
You on
girl
point.
took on all that power, and she was born earlier. She developed quicker, and she was rambunctious. She's a little creature. She was a
Oh
little
God.
creature.
I'm glad you brought that up. Aaliyah.
Yes, yes,
Her ass she achieved Christ consciousness at the age of 4.
yes,
Woo! That's a good Aaliyah. That was one of my favorite characters.
yeah. She's something else.
that
They
little
telling
huh?
they telling our story the whole time.
Girl, they tell man, let me tell you, boy, they get deep with that with Aaliyah and how the children, um, first of all, they're already born with the third eye, their third eye open. But these new children, if you ever decide to have more children, and your children now actually,
Yeah.
any child born after 2000, these new children are gonna be achieving a higher level of consciousness very quickly. If you don't suppress them with that religion, if you don't
Right.
suppress them, well, let's be honest, because religion is not the only level of suppression. Verbal
Yeah.
abuse, mental
Mm-hmm.
abuse. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you parents are evil. Let's keep it real. We're gonna tell the
Yeah.
truth and shame the devil. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you parents are doing evil things. You're not supposed to be beating your children or terrorize. Don't terror. How about I'm gonna say this? Do not terrorize your children because you're suppressing that divinity, that consciousness. Just like in that movie when Aaliyah achieved that, she achieved Christ. She was telepathic, had genetic memory. They even, oh God, they even said that she was dealing with ego memory. Ego memory is when an ancestor take over you.
Yeah.
Now, when
Yeah.
now let's deal with that. They saying that it's evil when the ancestors take over. If you look in, I looked into this a lot, and they said that in the film they got ego memory. Ego memory is when, long story short, an ancestor takes over your body. You know what I'm saying? And they demonize it in the movie because they're saying that it's called an abomination. So they calling Aaliyah an abomination because they're saying that she basically been taken over by an ancestor because her consciousness is so high. Some ancient ancestor, some a consciousness of an ancient ancestor has taken over her body. That's what they're saying. So they call her an abomination. So they're already
Mm.
demonizing that. You're supposed to be channeling your ancestral higher self, anyways. You know what I'm saying? So you
Mm-hmm.
could be like Aaliyah, a hyper conscious 4 year old. I think she was 4 or 5. I can't remember her age. I'm gonna look that up. But she was. If you look at her,
Yeah.
she looks like a little kid, a little child. But she
Mm-hmm.
has hyper consciousness. She's moving like she's not moving like an adult. She's moving like a god.
Right.
Woo! Yeah. I like she was one of my favorite characters, Aaliyah. She should
Yes.
have more
I
screen time.
was.
Yeah, she was. But you know what? I want to say this. And I want to tell you this. Please, whenever you get a chance, I know you're probably busy, goddess. When you get a chance, listen. Go watch the mini series on YouTube. What
I
happened
already
was,
started it.
okay, bet, perfect.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi Channel and that nigga, Sci-Fi Channel they actually did a great job because they added information and it gave me more clarity. Okay, it gave me that sci-fi because it was on Sci-Fi Channel a long time ago in the year 2000. So they put it on YouTube for free because it's been 20 years. So they're gonna put it on free. It's a 3-part series, and they do a better job. In my opinion, I was actually shocked. They actually
Mm-hmm.
did a better job at explaining the universe, and it gave me a better clarity because it goes deeper. So I can't wait till you finish that because
Yeah.
Aaliyah does get more screen time and all that, and you get
Oh.
it develops the characters more too.
Yeah. Because on the first one, mm, in the movie, the dad was there in the beginning, like almost immediately, kind of. In the newer one, the way the Paul, the main character, was talking about he wanted to see his dad. I thought the father was dead.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, I was looking at it in another way. I was like, wow, he's dead on here. So, right quick, he popped out. I'm going to share um, a few things with you while he is not here. He'll be back. And so I'm going to I'm taking this time to share some information about my upcoming tour. And so I will be visiting a few cities. And my first city I will be visiting is Washington, D.C. And I will be there August 21st. And that is the Books, Bikes, and Bags lecture event. And MENTAAT is back with us, so I'll bring him on now as well as my community event dates. So yes, I will be in Washington, D.C. August 21st. And with this tour, I'm already still collecting books. Now, there are some people who they have given the books, so to speak, but I will be picking the books up from them at the Rent Pet celebration in Boston, the New Year celebration, August 25th. So I will be there. and I will be collecting books from people there. And with the tour, with the event being August 21st, once that event is over in Boston and I return back home, then I will be for probably another week or so still receiving books. And if books are received after that time, then I will mail them to the contact people in Washington, D.C. So these books are donated to the children of the D.C. area to promote literacy awareness. And we will also, with that being said, be biking on the path of a famous writer. So that's to be announced. That's a surprise. And we will also be visiting a landmark that is named after this person, in honor of this person. And we will also be, afterwards, we'll have lunch, and we will be sharing some things about the event and some feedback. Also, that day, bike rental is available. It's $8 if you want to bike. Some people are walking, and some other modes of transportation. So you don't have to get on a bike. You can walk. You can just, as long as you're there, I appreciate you. If your thought is there, you're not physically there, you are with me. I appreciate you for that as well. And next, I have my Pittsburgh tour. So I will be in Pittsburgh September 4th with Ramutef Webb, and we will have the Necharu Tuatep Astrology Conference. And let's see. Let me share.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So first, here goes my DC flyer. For those of you who are not familiar with it, the books, bikes, bags, etc. event. Here is the flyer for the Necharu Tuatep with Ramutef Webb, and event information, ticket information. And of course, if you know Ramutef and you want to get your tickets and or information from him, you can contact him. We have worked that out to where you can deal directly with Ramutef. That's not an issue at all. So more info, get that there. We will be, I will also be in Columbus, Ohio. We have a homeschool, unschool event. So we will be talking about and promoting and giving ideas on how to homeschool and the importance of homeschool. And in regards to today's broadcast, things like what we're discussing today should be taught by us. It should not be taught by foreigners to your children. So this gives you some insight. And also we let you know we will be sharing things and information at that event, such as you can create your own work. You can create your own home schedule. So some people are like, well, I got to work. Well, we all know most cases the children are at school while we're at work, those of us who are at work. And that's not the case with homeschool. You can create your own time, your own days of the calendar that your children attend school. And the curriculum can be the curriculum you build. Curriculum, the knowledge which you teach your children, is up to you. It's not up to the school system. You don't have to look for them for books or how to or what to teach them. You can teach them all sorts of things. So like we were talking in setting up for that event, and a reference to basketball came up. When your child is learning basketball, they are learning mathematics, because there's range and angle to the hoop. And all such types of other things. So, and then if you're in the kitchen and you're cooking, there's measurements, measuring cups and all sorts. That's all math. It's fractions, it's math. So there's different ways to teach your children, and not to get caught up in the way the system tells you things. And also, if you think, well, I'm not put together for that, I cannot do it, you can also have someone else teach your children, and they are still homeschooled. And there are some people who's, I'm gonna close on this point. There are some people who are concerned about their children and them interacting, not having the social skills. Homeschool children still attend prom. They're still involved in extracurricular activities and sports if you want them to be, and they still can participate in things like graduation as well. So don't let people you hear it and you know you can homeschool your children. Don't let somebody tell you what you cannot do when it comes to you giving and sharing knowledge and instilling in your children what they need to know from you and not from the foreigners. So, and last, I will be in Detroit, and I will be, by popular demand, there again, speaking on magic. That will be October 16th. And so now back to where we were at. Let's go back to this Dune movie review. Now, while we're taking a break and we've gotten off, we're in another place now, right quick. Let's talk about the other item I want to talk about today, address for sure, outside of the Dune movie, but it's all related.
Okay.
Starfire.
Oh God. Oh God. First of all, real quick, I want to warn you, beloved. I have an iPhone, and when I'm using apps, like when I'm on Facebook or Instagram posting, it'll just the app will cut off. I think that's very strange. And I've asked a lot of our Kemetic priests about that, and they said because they're onto you, they know who you are, they know who we are, as incarnated Netzeru, as incarnated gods and goddesses. A lot of us are called significant incarnates. So what they're doing is, because I'm not really teaching nothing that's not been taught. I'm just teaching it in a certain tone. I have a certain tone. The power of the voice. That's another thing they got into in Dune too. The power of the voice. Okay, the Netzeru, we have that voice that's very influencing, has a lot of power. Okay, and so a lot of times they'll just shut it. They'll shut it down. So I just wanted to warn you. That's what happened. I thought my phone died, but I got a little power left, so it just one of those events where they just shut it. They just shut it down.
It happens, and we're used to it. I'm used to it, so I just continue on to something else like I did. And I told you you'd be back. I knew you'd be back. I knew you'd be
cool.
back.
I'm glad to see you. Yeah, you synchronized, girl. Yeah, you're a net. We'll call you a Netertat. That's a goddess.
A Netertat. Okay, I'll accept that. Netertat. Okay, so Starfire. Let's talk about her.
Starfire.
And I want to talk about her because I've seen you present information and knowledge about Starfire, and yeah, I'd like for you to share with the audience your how you see it on Starfire.
Starfire. When y'all get a chance, when you get a chance, pull up a picture of her, please. When you get a chance.
Oh, I got it.
Thank you. Starfire. Okay. A very popular, matter of fact, the main character of the DC's Teen Titans, a very popular kids show. Okay. So our children are watching this because it's very popular. Starfire. Starfire is the main character. She's a golden skinned feminine goddess from the planet Tamara. The word Tamaray or Tamara or Tamaraye is the most ancient name for Kemet. Most black most black people know ancient Egypt as Kemet. Then when you get into the deeper orders, it's known as Tamaray. Okay, again, DC, these people, the elite are onto they know all this, so they put it in the movies or they put it in the cartoon shows. Okay, so the most ancient name for Kemet is Tamaray. So in the show, the planet Tamara that she's from, the beings are golden skinned. Okay, these beings absorb energy from the sun, allowing them to store the energy from the sun into their bodies, allowing them energy manipulation. So they store the energy and then they can project it at will, and it allows them to fly. How? Because they have to store it from the sun. So immediately when I looked into that, I'm like, oh God, they're just blatant. They're not just being blatant. They're being blatant. So Starfire is one of these citizens of the planet Tamara. And check this out. So she could fly and she could direct energy by absorbing energy coming out the sun. Now listen, her sister, I don't know her sister's name, but her sister was born with a birth defect, which does not allow her to absorb energy from the sun. So she cannot fly, and she cannot absorb energy, and she cannot redirect energy. She can't do nothing. She's just a normal being, or a sub being. Because on their planet, everybody's flying. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's absorbing energy. she's a rare recessive being. So through her jealousy, because she's jealous of the fact that her sister can do all this, can fly, and she's golden, absorbing all that. Her sister,
So her sister's Blackfire.
that's her sister name, Blackfire.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's wow. So Blackfire, her sister, which is her sister, set her up and forced her to go into slavery. So Starfire was raped and she was physically abused because while she was in slavery. Does it sound familiar? It does. She was raped, abused, and forced to be a slave. So long story short, she had to go to another planet and be a superhero. You see what I'm saying? But that story, come on, that story is so blatant.
Mm-hmm.
And you look like Starfire. Your skin, you're like a golden fire color. That's what I'm saying. So you're Starfire. So a lot of black women when they see even a picture of Starfire, she's like a golden. Now her features, we're big on features. We're big on features. Oh God, we are big on features. We look at your eye, your eye shape, your nose. They got Starfire with the golden melanite skin, but she got the Mukasu Adamite European features. She got the little, she's a beautiful white girl, but that's a European feature. So they're trying to Europeanize the Tamarans. That's us. They get like a reddish color. They don't get golden. So they're basically trying to kind of. Oh God, I'm glad you brought that up. These folks made a live adaptation of. Kia, keep that right there for me, please. These folks made a live action version of Teen Titans, and they had the nerve to get mad at the fact that they casted a black actor, not knowing that they're actually dropping more of the truth. They're exposing it, but that shows you the ignorance of the people, because these are mostly white folks, anyways. And let me tell you something about white folks. I'm not being mean. Let's just keep it real. They're not as intelligent as they're coming off as. They have a lower level of consciousness. Long story short, their elites are the ones who are very intelligent, but the average white person, shit, is a voting Democratic or Republican, a sheeple. So when they seen this, so they don't really know they don't know nothing about no Tamaray or none of that. So that's why, again, being a Gemini, I had to look on that side and say, wait a minute, why are these folks acting crazy? Because they don't know. Number one, and because they don't know, they got offended. Because they don't know, they got offended by the fact that their beloved character, who was black anyways, was made a black person because they assumed that it was a white person, not knowing that, listen, that's a black goddess, Starfire. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, and you're welcome. And for me, I watched it. As I mentioned. I shared with you. I watch it. I'm familiar with the character, the original character from the comic books. I recently got with the Teen Titans based on being in the households where when my grandchildren are at home and I'm there picking them up or visiting them, and they're watching the Teen Titans and MENTAAT. I'm not sure if you know We Cannot See You. So my and your mic is muted. So my grandchildren, I paid more attention to things when they are watching them. And so I observed and I heard the Tamari.
Yep.
Which is the other word which is the word for Egypt. It was Egypt and Kemet. First it was Tamari, then Kemet, then Egypt, and so forth.
Exactly.
And then I was like, what? And then I took note of her being the star and the fire. If you're from the star, you only can be of certain type complexion.
Exactly.
And live and be healthy and take on the power of the sun, of the star, the sun, and fire as well. So that and some other things, I was like, and her the orange skin tone they gave her, like the golden, only time the golden, that color, I don't. The only time I see white people, and that's what I'm gonna call them today. The only time I see white people orange is when they go to the tanning booth and they got that whole process wrong and they come out orange. But yeah, it's just some things that was sitting in with me And I was moving with grandkids, so I was moving too quick, stuff being processed. But when I saw you put that on your Instagram and it was on your Facebook story, I was like, that's all what I was. And that's another thing while talking to you, there are, as well as some other people like Mother Matriarch Salima Ellis here, and Kathleen Williams, and Quenisha Hudson, and M-Town Vet. And you are also one of them now for me. When we talk, there are like pieces of the puzzle that you have, and it fits in, and it brings it to where I can put it into English words, because a lot of things it just goes without being said, and a lot of things I just know that I know, but the way you come to the table is priceless. And right quick, I'm gonna share this too. Yesterday we were talking. Yesterday we were talking, and we were practicing to come in the studio. I had this headache out of this world, and a lot of times I don't feel pain. I just work through it. I go through it. 99.9% of the time, I just roll through it like it ain't even real, because I feel like if I acknowledge it, then it'll take over. While we were speaking, because I had a cousin who called, she checked on me. She had her words. She had her thoughts on some remedies and stuff. I was like, girl, if I take anything for this headache, it's going to be some more deep breaths and my water and some peppermint oil for my temples and or some chamomile tea. And I'm not taking no Tylenol. I'm not taking no Motrin. I'm not doing any of that. Halfway through the conversation with you, I realized my headache was gone. So I contribute that to you and the energy that you have and the interaction we had together. I was like, wow, that headache I've not had one. It was crazy. It was like my neck was stiff. I couldn't hardly move my. It was, and it went all the way up here and sat on top of my eyebrow. It was wild. It was wild. So I just wanted to share that with you. So we were talking about, and I think while we're talking about, I'm speaking about the conversation and the interaction and the energy. One of the things we were talking about that I think helped bring me out of that and get away from that headache and that whole neck issue. We were talking about our past lives, our other lives, and not only being on Earth.
Right.
Yeah, could you talk about that for me?
That's another good subject. Yeah, you're on point with the subjects. I like that. Oh gosh, that's another subject. A lot of people. So we're learning, so it's okay. It's okay. We're learning. We're just learning. But a lot of people make the assumption that we spent all of our incarnations on the same planet, which is very not true. Not very true. Very not true. Whatever. Okay. Remember your divine fraction of source. So you've always existed. So many of you have had thousands upon thousands of incarnations, and they have not always been on this planet because your soul is older than this planet. So this is a young world, okay, and we come from a higher dimension. So this is a baby planet born only less than 50 billion years ago. So it's a baby planet. So long story short, most of you all, listen, your previous incarnation was in a planet in Sirius, because our bloodlines. Reason why the pyramids face Sirius and Orion is because Sirius is our home capital. Okay, so before we was on Earth, before our bloodline was on Earth, you know what I'm saying? It's an extension of the bloodlines of Sirius. So you spent many of your incarnations on Sirius, and then without getting deeper, a lot of y'all been on other. A lot of you guys have spent incarnations on other worlds. There are so-called black people. Our culture is not terrestrial, it's interplanetary, it's galactic. So we live on all planets. We live on Saturn, Venus. A lot of y'all probably experience incarnation there. So when you're doing your readings and you're doing your past life work and all that, don't get spooked out when you have an experience and you can't understand it. It's not earthly. Just understand it because you spent an incarnation on another world. Especially a lot of y'all who were born after 1970. Most beings born after 1970 are part of that golden child soul fleet that incarnated when that Stargate opened. Long story short, Stargate opened because Earth is going through a cosmic hell. So higher vibrational beings have to incarnate. So finally, a Stargate opened up in 1970, and here we came as golden children. But we came down, especially a being like me, we came down from other worlds. Now, a lot of us were here a long time ago, and then we went to another world, and now we came back. A lot of the Netzeru, I'm a Netzeru. So I was here before, then went back to the home star system, and then reincarnated and came back. A lot of the gods and goddesses are that too. We've been here before, a long time ago when it was booming, and we have decided to come back and to get the rest of our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So we get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you brought that up. There's a movie. Go watch the movie Infinite. If you ain't seen it, go watch that movie Infinite. It gets into that whole genetic memory, reincarnation, past life, all that. It's called Infinite, starring Mark Wahlberg. You know what? Fuck that. Starring Chiwetel Ejiofor and then Mark Wahlberg. I'm saying like that.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, right quick, someone asked what you were over there burning earlier.
Oh, this is
Tanisha Hudson. I recall.
I want my apartment to smell like an ancient temple, so I buy this Indian sage from India. It's the best. Oh God, I don't know where you guys live at, but if you go to an African store, they're importing this. Nandita will have your house smelling like an ancient temple, and this is very, very strong. I like very, very strong incense. You know what I'm saying? Because I have two felines, so sometimes the litter could be booming even when I clean it. But when I'm burning this, you can't. Oh God, ancient temple vibes like a motherfucker. So it's called Nandita.
And wood spice, how appropriate spice.
Yeah, wood spice.
Yeah,
oh God, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you're on point. That's why I do. You see, women, their minds work faster and they're more sharper. Because again, overstand the what I get to the overstand the masculine is not a separate entity. That's why I have titties right here that don't work. Okay, the masculine genetic is not separate. It's an aggressive feminine expression. So that's why women be on point. You know what I'm saying? Because see the deity.
Let's see. So let's get back to the movie Dune. Let's continue the movie reviewing and close and finish it up. So let's talk about Paul's experience.
Okay.
His coming. Oh, can we talk about the what is it? Some people call it probably premonitions or the views.
Prescience.
Yes, he had the visions first. He had dreams. So let's start back that far and work up to him coming into his fullness.
Again, Paul Atreides was I'm what's called a gatekeeper. Okay, gatekeeper is a being that vibrates on masculine and feminine energy. Okay, in order to open up a Stargate, you need a gatekeeper. If you look at the Dendera star map, it's 4 gatekeepers, and then you got a golden child in the middle. Now, most of the gatekeepers are actually feminine. So, anyways, Paul is essentially a gatekeeper, but he's a masculine supreme being or a being of Ma'at. All right, they call them mentats in the movie. A mentat is a being whose mind is vibrating at such a high level that they can make astronomical computations. That gets into this whole spice thing. So Paul's a supreme being. He was bred to be that way. Okay, after the sacred sisterhood, they're trying to breed a masculine supreme being. You know what I'm saying? So to restore order in the universe. Ma'at, they're trying to bring. You know what I'm saying? So Paul Atreides ended up being the end result of a breeding program to breed the masculine supreme being. Oh, there you go. Oh God, you so on point. I love you. There you go. That's the Dendera. Those are the 4 gatekeepers, right? And then in the middle, that's the star map. That's our star map. But that gets into the whole zodiac. That's our. I don't even want to use the word zodiac because that's Daytone. That's our star map. So when you get a chance, learn what you are according to the Dendera. But that's what a gatekeeper is. A being that's vibrating on both. You can be personified as a man or a woman, but what is your energy vibrating as? That's the real you is your energy, not what you look like. The real you is your energy. So you're vibrating as both. I don't consider myself masculine, even though I have a penis, I'm an androgynous because I have dual energy. You know, I wear makeup, my nails are painted. I'm not heterosexual, but I'm just a dual vibrational being. So I'm saying, long story short, that's what Paul is too. He's able to tap into both masculine and feminine energy. He ended up being, that's how he ended up being the Mahdi. He was able to see the future. He was able to do everything that the Reverend Mothers were doing because he was tapped in by nature, or by his genetic superior nature. He's able to tap in to all that power. So he's having visions, premonitions. So he was unlocking as he was progressing through his journey, and that's what we're all dealing with. We're just unlock. You know what? That ties into everybody, not just me or men. That ties into everybody. We are all black people, so-called black people, Nubians. We're unlocking our DNA. All right, through so you're having these dreams, which are visions. You're unlocking dormant abilities. That's going on with everybody. That's why it's good to be in the sun as much as possible, because the sun is beaming down light codes, which is waking up that dormant, 12-strand DNA. Because you only have 3 strands active. Some of us have the 6th strand active, but the other strands is where your abilities are and your memory, and that sun is activating that. So in the movie, he's having visions and all that type of stuff. So what you guys? A lot of y'all dreaming of UFOs. A lot of y'all dream. I just made a post about that. A lot of y'all dream of UFOs because you have the same things going on with you. A lot of y'all are having these dreams about these beings visiting you. A lot of y'all seeing the future. So it's the same thing that's going on with all of us. Real quick, that's why it's good to eat. That's why it's good to have a high vibration, eat good. You know what I'm saying? So that more light can be absorbed in your body, unlocking all that hidden DNA that's been dormant because you've been on the devil's diet. You've been eating hot
Mhm.
dog. Me too. I have too. We've been eating. But now it's time to come out of that and allow the body avatar to unlock.
Yes, yes. And I promote all of that. I have my copper water.
Uh
I
oh.
have the
Huh.
shepherd's purse herb. So I promote not these products, but I have these in my house. I use them, herbs and spices, and oils and salts. And while I'm taking this moment to share that, then I'm getting to the question I was going to ask you while I'm sharing. Let me share this. Okay, so I have some black Himalayan Epsom salt. This came from by Ashed Haru herself of Pluto Nation. And she also gifted me with some waist beads to assist me on my weight loss journey. It's a tone up journey. I'm toning up. I'm getting some things together. I got some things right here. Got some things to get together. So she also gifted me some soap. This is a detoxifying bar. It's a clay, Rostol clay, and I appreciate her for that. And not only is it food that we should be consuming, because we we need to be aware of all things we're putting in our body. Be aware. I'm not telling people how to eat or what to do. I'm saying be aware of what you're putting in your body. Marcia Harris Owens of Common Sense has her soaps she uses and she makes. And my favorite, as we all know, is the monkey farts.
The what?
Like, let's see what I mean. The what? Monkey farts. This stuff is priceless. It's beautiful. Smells like not a monkey fart.
Huh.
And then she has her Jupiter X. So, but go to commonsense4u.org. And also, she has her Common Sense Facebook group page. And where's her thing? Marcia, I know I got your email right here. Either way, go visit her, check her out. She also she's part of Team Owens. Her husband, her king, her spouse is Rodney Owens, and they have the tooth powder, which I recently just shared that information with someone to get rid of cavities and some other things going on in their life. Help clean that up. I'm gonna clean this up. You're gonna clean up stuff. Also, I want to share. I'm burning stuff too. I'm burning my bamboo incense. I'm a fan of this bamboo incense, so I'm burning some of that. And Shay Yu, I mentioned her this sister right here of mine, her daughter and her make products, and I had the product review broadcast a few weeks ago, and I said I shared her thing. So I'm gonna take this middle one off. But these rings her daughter made, Malaysia. I forget the names of them, Jupiter, and one is Galactics. I'm gonna have to get the names of them from her, but they made these, and they also made this wrap piece right here for me, which is good for cleansing your organs. I think that's what she said. So I wear that to my lungs, keep my lungs clear, and I like to think it helps me produce and promote my voice and keep my chest area open and clear and being ready to communicate and verbalize what I need to share. So either way, that's all of that. That's what I want to share. Now, right quick.
I need to be a customer. I'm gonna be a customer. I need to buy some of that stuff from you.
Yes, and the tooth powder is made of all natural stuff. It don't have fluoride in it, and other stuff. And that everything that Marcia puts in her products, they are things you can use in your kitchen, so you can eat the items that go in her products. I wouldn't sit here and eat this bar of soap, but you can eat those items. You got waist beads, 13 to add it. Okay, so Quanisha got some stuff too. M-Town Bet, what's the name of what? And then I'll get that. What's the name of what was it? So yeah, I'll forward you that information, MENTAAT, so you can look into that. Yes, because promoting in health and natural and nature is a goal of mine. We work with chemicals. We have chemicals in our houses. We walk into chemicals at times and we're not even aware of it. So just do your best and be aware of where you're at and what you're coming into. So here goes my question. You were speaking on the planets and the past lives, and with my dreams, I have a lot of dreams on, I call them transfer stations. Where I'm getting off a ship and going to another ship.
Wow.
And the one dream I'm gonna share, because I shared it publicly, because here in this life, I say I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim. In that life, there was this blue, this deep, dark, like navy blue, but off you could see there was light, but it was all a shade of blue. And I got off of this ship and went straight into it was just all water, just water, and only water in this place. And I got off and I did a 90-degree turn and went to another ship. I was there like that quick in my dream. But the vision, the view, that blueness, and the way that water, it kind of looked like my top, it just was still, but it was moving. It was beautiful. But anyway, in the other dream, which I'm not sharing publicly, but you use this word governorship. And in that one word, it explained that whole dream to me. Can you talk to us about the governorship?
Wow. Okay. Now, so that gets into, okay, I'm gonna need you to go watch the movie Jupiter Ascending.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that yet?
Yes.
Okay, so the main character, what happened? Her ass was she had no memory of who she was. Long story short, she was a regular person on Earth with a regular job, right? But when she gained her memory back and her identity back, she ended up being a reincarnated galactic queen, heir to with inheriting an entire planet. So so when you translate that, she would be what you call a star lord or a star lordess. Okay, a lot of us are divine royal children of the Neptune star family. All right, once we get out of Earth and once we graduate, once we leave Earth, we're going to be assuming lordship, so-called, the word they're using, or rulership over the many planets that our family, the ancestor, the Neptune, our galactic federation empire of Ankh life. Okay, we own millions upon millions of planets. Okay, millions upon, and they need rulership this world, this earth experience is nothing but a training ground. Okay, nothing but a training ground, so that once you, if you can deal with earth, then you can move on, you can rule the entire planet. A lot of y'all are going to be ruling entire galaxies. I'm sorry, not galaxies. A lot of y'all will be ruling entire solar systems. So you're training for these positions. Long story short. So if you're having dreams like that, that's really good. That means, honestly, in my opinion, if you're having that type of experience, you're not having that. We don't believe in coincidences. There's no such thing. You're having you're having premonitions and visions, right? And honestly, if you want to keep it real with you, there's no such thing as the future. There's no such thing as the past. There's only the infinite now. That's the one thing you're gonna learn when you do spirituality is there's only the infinite now. So what you are experiencing, you're experiencing yourself. You are having an experience of yourself when you were assuming rules, or when you are going to assume your rulership position. That's not a we don't dreams is not something that you're thinking of. It's something that you're going to be experiencing. You're just switching out your consciousness into another body where you're experiencing that, because all time, without getting too deep, everything's running parallel. So we don't believe. So kind of like a spiral motion. So when you're dreaming, you're just switching out your consciousness to wherever you're at a certain
Mhm.
at a certain time on that timeline. So there's no such thing as the future. The future is now. The past is now. So you're just having the experience of you being a galactic queen. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are. We are not just African queen. We are it's very deep. Okay, this is the frontier of our current understanding of our remembrance. We are galactic, and they're putting this in the movies. Go watch Star Wars. That's us. That's a white. All these movies with them showing them in space, flying around, colonizing planets, looking good. Matter of fact, and one thing I loved about Dune was the aesthetics. All those outfits were beautiful. When last time you
Mhm.
seen the white folks dressed like that? That elegant,
Man.
that cultural. A lot of those outfits were very cultural, very comedic, very comedic, very resonant. They had a lot of cool outfits.
Mhm.
When you call something cool, that means it resonates with you. So if I'm a natural and something resonates with me, that means it gotta be divine. You know what I'm saying? So them outfits were cultural. So they showing you Stargate was another excellent visual when it's showing you the aesthetics of how we are on a galactic level. The same way, except we on a starship. You know what I'm saying? So again, we need to understand that we are a galactic people. Earth is nothing but a small colony, colonized by beings who came down from Sirius, you know, men and women, humanoids, natural humanoids, okay, and they produced a bloodline that we've been reincarnating down. Now it's time to get out of here and go back home. Long story short.
Great story. I like the shortness. I like the length. I like all that. Let's see. I think yes, gratitude, Marcia. So if you like
Mm.
natural soaps ingredients come from your kitchen, from her kitchen, a kitchen. Contact her. Contact Marcia Harris on Marcia Owens Harris on Facebook. She's Marcia Harris Owens, and or Black Star Organite, which is where Rod's products are featured. Her King, Rodney, and also they have an Etsy page. They have T-shirts, they have hats, they all types of stuff. So contact Marcia and get that information. You want your tooth powder, shungite soap,
Hmm.
all types. Oh, the soap nuts. Of course, we cannot go away without speaking about the soap nuts. And so, which I'm going to be putting into use soon again, because I have a hand washer, and I'm going to be working and practicing on using that hand washer. So when I move myself to Costa Rica,
Wow.
because I'm learning now how to live off grid. I'm preparing. I grew up. My mother always had us prepared mentally and physically. And so she would have the lessons like, if I tell you one day to sit over there and be quiet, don't say nothing till I come back, that's what I mean. So some of us, and I spoke this before in another broadcast, our children need to learn how to be quiet. Because one day it could be for their well-being that they know how to sit still till you get back to them. But either way, I'm learning now. I've been in the process for a few years now to learn how to live off grid, because My mother prepared me. Even if I don't experience it for myself, I'm being an example for my children and my grandchildren for the times that could come during their lifetime. And if not them, they can pass it along. And the longer we go, the more we will take on and enhance what we know, and we will be stronger and more prepared in that time when it comes, because it's coming. It's coming. So what I also tell people is, a lot of people, they get these mindsets that when I arrive, when I get there, then everything's okay. No. So for example, I'm expecting to, when I get to Costa Rica, breathe a different air. I expect to live a healthier lifestyle. Well, I'm not gonna eat McDonald's and Burger King until I touch the daggone land in Costa Rica. I'm gonna adjust my body now for the blues of that area, the greens, the more greens of the grass and the surroundings that I'll be taking in, and the air, because the air quality there is something else. And the water and everything there, the whole experience, and then being away from electronics, because Marcia speaks on that as well. So one thing I do, and I've done since listening to her, is overnight I turn off the refrigerator. And with listening to her in the past year and knowing this and all the energy it pulls, and how you're asleep and it's running for like 8 hours, running up your electric bill. And then between that and the microwave, there's just things going on in there that's not healthy for you anyway. And then because Marcia in her broadcast, when she spoke on refrigerators and microwaves, talked about how some people might think, well, their items will go bad overnight. Your items in your refrigerator, your freezer will be fine till you plug it back in the next day after you get up out your sleep. Then what I did when I was looking in the refrigerator to see what might need to go in the freezer, because I wasn't quite sure on Marcia's word at the time, I was like, let me look and see if these eggs need to. It made me take inventory of what was in my refrigerator. 90% of what's in the refrigerator, I don't need it anyway. So It's just like, technically, really, we talking about being nature and being of the earth and natural, and back to the earth and being who we are. The refrigerator is unnecessary.
Right.
People going green. The vegetation is coming off the tree or the vine. It's not coming straight from the refrigerator. You got to put it back into another refrigerator. If you are having to refrigerate something, you might want to take inventory and see why you even need the refrigerator. And another thing, depending on what type stove device you have, you need to unplug it as well. Because when is the last time you cooked something or put something in the oven? So when will the next time be you'll use it? In the meantime, that appliance is running and is running up your bill. So that's, in short, a synopsis. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, for Marcia, because she's way more detailed and she'll give you all of that stuff. Dehydrate as much food as you can, and take away the use of the refrigerator, period.
Wow, interesting.
And I've not had a microwave for years. Gotcha. And I've not had a TV for longer than that. I've not had a TV since like 2003, maybe, sometime before then. I've not had a microwave in probably 4 years or so.
I got a question.
Yes.
So you're saying you suggest just oven heat your food? You're suggesting just oven heat your food?
Oh, I'm not suggesting how to prepare your food. I'm saying unplug it when you're not using it. Gotcha. Then you save energy on your electric bill. Because a lot of people, some people, they eat a lot of fast food. Yeah, and when we in life, we go through stages. So for some people, they might not be able to be copper water bottles and all dehydrated foods. They might not be able to be all clean yet, or on their way to being all clean. and stop eating meat and stop taking in things that's bad for them. But one thing they could probably easily do easier than that is unplug the oven.
Okay.
It's some levels to this. Unplug your oven, you're not using it. Unplug the refrigerator overnight. And another thing right quick, and I'm gonna move on, is these a few years ago, I was convinced the electric company, your local electric company, and the light company, the people who make the light bulbs and all this stuff, and make the ceiling fans with the multi units of lights hanging from them. Your ceiling fan got 5 lights for that one room. You only need 1 light for that room. Unloosen them other light bulbs and bring down your light bill. Just do some stuff for yourself, and then you can take that money that you save and go buy some stuff. And right quick, people will say that eating healthy costs a lot of money. That's not real. Switching to more vegetables, more produce in your life, it actually, my food bill, I spent a third of what I was spending when I was in the canned food aisle. When I was in the aisles where the boxes of cereal and the canned goods and the boxes of macaroni noodles, and you come out of them aisles and just shop from the outer where the produce is at, your bill mine was cut in third. It's a third. So that's all I'm sharing for now.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. And speaking of welcome, I'm gonna take this time to welcome everyone who is here. Welcome everyone who is new to the Karmic Dynasty platform. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your energy, your effort, your time. It means so much to me, a lot to me. And I appreciate everyone's interaction. And today in the comment section as well. And I also taking the time to say this is an honor to MENTAAT to have you here on Karmic Dynasty. And I was doing my best to reassure you and have you be comfortable when you were here. I told you they'd be in this comment section with this interaction. So this is what we do over here, and it's always all good. It's always all love. We don't have haters. We don't have the drama. We don't have the negative tones in here. It's always a beautiful place to be. And it's been a while since I went live, so I'm a little bit mad about that, but I've been busy. But again, y'all, I've not been anywhere terrible, bad, just busy being productive and in an effort to continue to bring what I need to the people and to do my best to continue to come out and away from this laptop and see you in your city and see you face to face and grow and build with you together one-on-one, such as with this event with Ramutef Web that we have in Pittsburgh, the Necharu Twatep. So more lectures to come, more events to come. Yes, I heard someone earlier, I'm not sure if it was you, but but someone asked me to come to NYC. I made a note, I did see you. And right now, my lecture for next year, my lecture tour is already complete. In my planning, I have on my list mostly southern states, starting in South Carolina, and then I'll be making my way back up north, going to where's this? It's in Missouri, Kansas City. And then I'll be going to Detroit and then back here home in Indianapolis, Indiana. For now, unless something happens that unforeseen to me, and my home is in Costa Rica. But either way, I'm still going to continue my tour. And yes, get you a Berkey water system. Get you a Berkey water system. Marcia spoke on this, and in brief, you can take some cup of Kool-Aid and pour it in the Berkey water system, and it comes out purified drinking water. So they have the travel size Berkeys. You can take them with you. Put some liquid in there. Dump junk trash Kool-Aid, and it'll come out beautiful drinking water. I see we have someone who has joined us in the broadcast. Who we have with us here with you, MENTAAT?
Oh, that's girl. A little kitten in ancient Kemet. Look at her. Now you want to be our you know what I'm saying? We real quick, go watch the Michael Jackson video. Remember the time? Watch the beginning. Watch the beginning when they had all them felines just chilling. So the felines are very sacred to us. You know what I'm saying? So we keep them in our dwellings. That's just her name is Uma, a feline, a white gray tiger.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yes, I know. I'm familiar with some knowledge on the feline. I'm not a fan of animals, pets, and I never. I used to have allergies, so
Got you.
being them, no, I'm coming into
Got
them where I can accept being around them, but
right.
actually taking care of one like me, I can't pick one up. I need a full because me in my learning where I'm at, I don't want to be disrespectful. And right quick, we have our Michael Jackson fan club president in the house, Miss Kai Creatress.
Really?
Yes, you ain't gonna talk about Michael Jackson, and she ain't gonna back you up or give you some more on Michael Jackson. Um, but yeah, I got this thing about where I'm at with animals now. It's like I need a whole class on how to pick them up. Okay, exactly where on their neck do I pick them up? I don't want to be a couple of degrees away from where I'm supposed to be, because to me that's disrespectful, and I don't need to, in my mind, touch them in the wrong place and they lash out at me. I don't have time for no fights, because I got in a fight with an animal one time and that animal ended up on the sidewalk. I real quick found out how to pick them up, put them out the sidewalk. So that was one time. But it wasn't a cat. It was not a cat. For the record, it was a ferret. It was a ferret.
Okay.
Daggone ferret. And that ferret's owner got under my last fingernail. Ferret hit the sidewalk. Don't mess with me. Anyway.
Woo, yeah. Okay. That was a good story.
Okay. You know what I mean? Cat be pissing in the clothes drawer. Tragic. Either way, we're gonna work on closing out here. What else would you like us to know about the Dune movie besides? Because you was like all black people need to watch this movie. What else do you want us to know about this movie before we leave and until we see you next time?
Honestly, that's it. I just really want y'all to not only watch Dune, but to stay current on all the new science fiction movies they're dropping. Because now they have to fulfill a contract where they really got to start dropping the truth. They got to fulfill that. Otherwise, they're going to be destroyed immediately without getting into galactic law. That's galactic law. So, and if they violate it, they're going to get destroyed immediately, like instantly, if they violate it. So they have a lot of new movies that are coming out tomorrow. War, go watch that. Okay. Go watch The Infinite. Stay on top of your science fiction movies, because that's where our sciences and our truth are coming from. And when you see that, it's like a visual akasha. That's why it's important to watch movies. Instead of reading, we don't read English words. That's not how we learn. We're visual learners. So when you watch a movie, you learn way more than reading a book. And movie is a visual akashic book. And that's the only thing I gotta really say about that. And I say to y'all, Shuk Wunu Wa, which is one of the various ancient Egyptian dialects. It means divine love and divine light to you all. And I can't wait to come back and chop it up with y'all. And thank you for inviting me. I had fun.
Good, and you're welcome. We can't wait to see you back here. And I know I'm speaking for everybody because I can tell from the comments that's how we feel today. Okay, so we'll have you back here, of course. And I'm speaking peace, love, and light to everyone. And share that phrase with me again, because I want to say that as well.
Okay. Yeah, matter of fact, yes. I want to leave you guys with the word is Ashuk. See, a lot of us are saying Ashe, which is cool. That's cool.
Okay.
I say, I'm gonna give you our gem, okay? Ashe is dealing with Pan-Africanism, which ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a school. But now when you come back to so-called ancient Egypt or Kemet or Tamaray, you say Ashuk. Ashuk simply means divine love. So when you leave out with Ashe, also add try to do your best to work on saying Ashuk. What I say is I say Aminra, I say Ashuk. So I like to add it. I like to be universal, and I like to unify all the African, so-called African, Black, Nubian schools. I'm a unifier. I don't like division. So I try to unify it. So I say Min Ra, I say Ashuk.
Min Ra, Ashe, Ashuk.
Amin. Yep. Amin. Ra. I say I
I'm
should.
the Ra, Ashe, Ashuk.
There you go. Perfect.
Peace, y'all. Peace.